Good morning, everyone. I'm Kate from What Kate Made. Welcome along to my demonstration of Halloween crafts for children. I'm going to show you three things today. I'm going to show you how to make some very simple bat bunting. This is it. It's like a paper chain, so it's very easy to use. I put little, can you see, red sequins for the eyes. So this is great to hang up in your window or on the wall if you're having a party. I'm also going to show you I'm going to show you how to make a little treat bag for Halloween. I've made three different designs. Um, they're all the basic same bag, they're just decorated in slightly different ways. So I'll show you how to make those. And the final thing I'm going to make as part of your decor is a little Halloween pumpkin. This is made from a sock, an orange sock. And it's just decorated with some leaves, but we'll make that as well. So we're going to get started with the bunting. Bunting. I can't say that now. I'm just trying to bring up the live feed so that I can. Somehow or other, it's not bringing it up. Okay, just bear with me a second. I want to be able to. Never mind, I cannot bring up your live feed. So I can't see your comments, but I hope you're out there. Okay, we'll get started. I'm going to show you what you need for. We'll start with the bat bunting. You need some. Where's it gone? Black paper. I've just got A4 size. This has got a slight texture on it, but it doesn't really matter. So this is your A4 size piece of paper. You'll need the templates from the download of the bat. So it's a half a bat because we're going to do it like a paper chain. We're going to fold our paper. A pair of scissors, pencil. That's all you need today for this. Oh, and some red sequins if you want to put red eyes on them. Now I'm just going to turn the camera down so you can see what I am doing. Sorry, I'm just still trying to get your feed up because I can't really see your comments. No. Can you see me in there? Okay. So this is my black paper and I want to fold it concertina style in four. And the way I usually do it is to fold it in half first. And then fold each end back to the middle. I want it in four because that's so that the template will fit along the width, which it will. So again, bring the end up to meet. So there, we've got four equal sections. Okay, now we should be able to get two or three bat shapes out of this. So we place our, make sure I do it right way around. Yeah, place our bat template on the fold. It's going to need to come out at this side, so I just need to possibly move it slightly from the fold and extend it a little bit. So I'm going to draw around the template. I'm using a pencil because you do need to make sure it joins at this side and this as well, because that's what, otherwise your bats will be separate. If they're separate, it is not a disaster. Just glue them together. That's what I ended up doing yesterday because I got my bats separate. All right, just bear. So then it's very simple. You just cut round your template, giving nice sharp points to the pointy bits on the wings. And making sure you leave a little bit joining there at the side, so don't make that too pointy at that side. And nearly there. Now, don't throw away these little bits that you've cut out, because these are really good for later when you're doing decorating your bags for the pumpkin. The shapes are just right. So we'll pop them to one side. So hopefully this is the moment where it all goes disastrously wrong. It hasn't. They are joined. So you can see I've got my two bats there. So I shall draw another one with the same template and making it go the same way. I'm trying to remember where I put it last time. Yeah, that way. So you can get out of an A4 sheet, you can get two bats, two lots of bats. This is just children's craft paper, bought in a bundle. You'll probably get it at this time of year quite easily, because it is Halloween after all. Same with the orange and green paper that I used for the bags. It came as a bundle, a Halloween bundle. This is a very, very simple one to do, even with the smallest children. Can draw around and cut out. If they can cut out, they can make this. On the template that should have been uploaded, there was also other shapes: cats, pumpkins, spiders. So you can vary your bunting. It doesn't have to all be bats. So I'm going to keep these bits again. And there's our second lot of bats. So now we're simply just going to, well, we're going to join them together. I'm just going to switch my glue on, let that warm up, and we're going to put the eyes on as well. So I'm just going to lay that out that way around a minute. It's nice that where your crease has been, you've got a little bit of a 3D shape coming as well. So I have got these little red sequins that I was using as eyes. So I'm just going to put a pinch of them on there. Ready? My glue gun is coming up, so I'll just put a spot of glue. You don't have to use a glue gun. You can use any sort of glue. I use the glue gun just because it's quick. It sets quick when I'm demonstrating like this, and then just pop an eye on. But sometimes it dries too quick, like it has then. Same at the other side. Don't worry too much about the glue. It forms strands. Looks quite like spiders' webs at this time of year, which is quite nice. So if you were wanting to make spider webs, you can do it with hot glue. This is where my sequins don't want to cooperate. They've stuck to my cutting board. That one's got a squint. I sometimes find if you just lick the end of your finger, it's not very hygienic, but it picks up the sequins. Okay, so there are my two lots of bats with their red eyes, and all I'm going to do is, again, using the glue, I'm just going to join the two strands together at that point, and it's done. Now, you can just hang them up like that. If your bats come separate, or you want them separate, you can hang them like bunting. So you can put punch a hole in and string them onto some ribbon, suitably coloured ribbon. But that's your bats. So simple and so effective. So these are going to go in my porch. So I've got two strands now. I decorate my porch for Halloween. And what I do is, because we got a bit old and grumpy now, we don't want to be disturbed every 5 minutes and the dog goes mad. I also put these, I use my little bags, and I put the sweeties in them, and I put them out on the table in the porch, and a little sign saying please help yourself, and just leave the porch light on and the door open, and kids just come and go. So I'm going to show you how to make these little bags next. the paper, so no plastic, environmentally friendly, just a bit of ribbon. So, and this is just drawn on with a marker pen. The others I've cut out. I'm sorry, I've got glue everywhere now. So I need, I'll do an orange one. They're all very much the same, but I'll do a pumpkin. So again, it's an A4 sheet of paper. This time we're going to be using double-sided tape. Well, I'm going to be using double-sided tape. Again, if you don't have double-sided tape, that's fine. Just, you know, you can use glue. It'll just take longer to set. So the first thing we're going to do is fold over at the end about ½ inch. So this is our seam on the bag. The bag is going to be this tall. Okay, and then we're going to fold so I've turned it around, the other end up to meet that fold we just made. Okay, so that is the basic shape of our bag. Now the other thing I'm going to do is fold my folds in reverse. This will help us later when we have to sort of create the gust of the bag. It just helps manipulate it later. So we've got our creases. What we're going to do now is we're going to put tape on this edge, or glue if you're using glue, and then we're going to use that to stick it together to make a bag shape. So, oh, it doesn't want to peel off. There we go. So this is double-sided tape. Put it as close to the edge and the top as you can. If you're not using tape, if you're using glue, I wouldn't recommend glue stick. It doesn't seem to stick as well. PVA glue would be good, but that will be wet, so you need to let it dry. Now this is the bit I always find really difficult, is peeling the backing off this double-sided tape. And you'd think having long nails would make it easier, but it doesn't. It makes it harder. So just bear with me while I get it free. There we go. Well, this is better than the previous lot of double-sided glue I had. So I'm just going to fold that over again, and then I'm going to fold this bit up to meet it, sticking to my finger, as we did before. And I'm just going to gently press, and that's given us the start of our bag shape. Okay. Now, to do the bottom of the bag, we do what's called a box bottom. It's basically the same as when you're wrapping a parcel and you make that nice little envelope shape at the bottom. So we're going to fold up about 1.5 inches from the bottom to the top and give that a nice neat fold. And then you're going to push the sides in like that to make that shape. Now the creases you've got along the sides need to meet the crease there, so it's in a nice straight line, and that will make your bottom very even. So you're looking for that nice triangle shape with the line following on. That's same at that side, and make nice sharp creases. So this is going to be the bottom of your box, your bag, sorry. Now this one you need to fold up so that it's at least 1 centimetre above that crease line. So I'm going to do it like that. This is so that you can stick it with the glue without sticking the whole bag together, which is what I did yesterday. Then couldn't fold the bottom out. So this one then wants to fold down, so it's covering that one. So what you've got looks like the back of an envelope. Didn't know you were going to be doing origami today, did you? So with the tape or your glue, what we're going to do is we want to put it underneath here so that these bits will stick down, but we don't want to stick it to that bit, this bit here, because that is where it's going to unfold, and if you stick it to that, then it's stuck and then it's gone. You can't get your bag open then. So I'm just going to cut some little tabs of the double-sided tape. Okay, now I'm going to peel those off. That one. It doesn't want to come off, that one. Bear with me. Sometimes I find, and I haven't got one handy at the moment, that craft knife really helps. I'm going to just see if the scissors can pull it up a bit. Ah, that's it, it's coming up now. Okay. Then we're going to fold the bottom bit up so it sticks to the glue there. But it's still not stuck there. Can you see? Okay. The next tab goes on here. And we want to put it right up next to the edge of there, so that it doesn't stick the bottom of the bag together. Right. And then fold that over, and we're back to that shape, and that's our bottom done. And then, fingers crossed, when you then go into it like that, you've got a nice flat bottom that folds out and creates a bottom. But we're just going to go back to it this way, because we now need to make the folds so that we can make the gusseted sides like on this one. So what I'm going to do is fold again about ½ an inch that way, like that, and then again at the other side. This is when it can start to get a little bit tricky. And then I'm going to fold them back the other way as well, because I need the folds to all be going in different directions. So I'm just to make the creases a little bit easier to form. Okay, and then we're going to open it up again, and what we should have is, if we folded it correctly, is to be able to push this in like that at both sides. There we go. And at the bottom you should be able to, sometimes it just takes a little bit of manipulation, you should be able to fold the flat bottom up like that. So that's the gusseted bag shape. Okay. Now it's ready to decorate. So I did mine as a scary pumpkin face, and I used up the paper that I had spare from the bat shapes. So let me find a bit, so we could use this bit. What I want is two eyes and a nose. Now the nose is a triangle, so I can just cut off the top of that piece, and that's my triangle. And the eyes are like just like scary eyes. I might even make them triangular shapes as well and cut off these two edges that are sort of triangular shaped. It's going to be different sizes, doesn't matter. Actually no, I'll use that one as the nose, and I'll cut more shapes that are shaped more like eyes. Just any sort of vaguely eye-shaped, scary-looking shape will do. That's pretty good. Now I shall cut round that again, because we want them to be the same. Roughly the same. Can't see now. Trouble with working with black in in not very good light. Although it's quite a sunny day here today. We've been quite lucky with the weather. So there. And I know it's upside down for you, but they're like, if we did them kind of like that, they look quite sort of evil, don't they? Evil eyes. A nose. And then the mouth is just a, we'll use this bit. We'll cut that way. It's just lots and lots of jagged teeth. So we want to make it so that it's the right size. Let's cut those off. Like that. And then I'm going to just randomly cut these shapes out to make a ragged tooth look. I hope there's people out there. I'm really sorry I can't see your comments. For some reason it won't let me open up the live video stream. I'll check all your comments after and try and reply to you all. And the last tooth there. So there we go. That's our pumpkin face. Now I am going to stick these on with tape just because I don't have the glue. I could use the glue gun. I shall just warm that up again. So in the meantime, I'm going to show it while the glue warms up. I'll show you how I did the other ones. Now this is Frankenstein one. It's just drawn on with a black marker pen. So I've got the sort of zigzaggy scar across his head, two big eyes, and sort of tombstone style teeth. The witch, I used just cut out sort of a face shape, an oval out of green paper. I had this nice purple card, so I've cut the witch's hat out of that, and again just drawn the face on with a marker pen. So that's that. Right, glue's warming up now. I'll stick these on. I'll just go up this way, then you can see it a bit better. And then the last one is the scary mouth. I should just put a line of glue along the top edge. And there we go. That's so the final thing is to put ribbon on it. I've got this little single hole punch. It's really handy, and I'll just punch a hole, two holes, sorry, in the top to put, and then I've got some nice ribbon here. I've got this lovely bright green. I'm going to cut a bit about 18 inches long. And then the easiest way to do it is, I've found, is to feed it through this, so this gets your knot on the inside. So just feed it through there and take the other end. So that end is in the middle then, in the middle of the bag. Then feed the other one through both holes. Sometimes if you just fold the ribbon, it makes it easier to do. Like that, and then back through that one. So one's only going through one hole and one's going through three. And then you can just knot it. So I know it's a while off Halloween yet, but I'll make a couple of these every day, and then I'll have maybe like half a dozen sat out. And once they've gone, they've gone. And then just pull it, and that's your treat bag. So that is a great way of giving sweets for Halloween, but not being disturbed all night. So, you know, if it's a nice night, you can stick them outside on the doorstep. If it's if you've got a porch like me, you can just put them in the porch. So kids will love that. And again, if you're having a Halloween party, they're great to make. No plastic. Might take you a little while, but you know, it's nice to be environmentally friendly. So that's our several little Halloween treat bags. I like them, so I think you'll agree they're quite handy to have. So I'll pop them to one side. Now our final thing maybe not small child friendly to make, but older children and teenagers would love these. This is a sock pumpkin. If you've seen the demonstrations that I did for autumn wreaths, I made a pumpkin very similar, but I made it out of fabric, which was a little bit trickier. The sock is dead easy to make things out of. Um, you don't need, it doesn't need to be orange because pumpkins are different colours these days. I was lucky enough to get last year um, long orange socks. They were in the Halloween costume section, so they'd come up over your knee if you're dressing up as a witch. Um, you can see I used the foot end to make pumpkins last year. T-shirt material will do just as well. You just have to. So an arm of a t-shirt would be brilliant. You really need it to be a tube. If you've only got fabric, then you could sew it into a tube. So it's very simple. There's a little bit of sewing, but it's not massively difficult. So I'm going to show you. So as well as your sock, you'll need a needle and thread. You will need toy stuffing. Now, as regards thread, you need sewing thread to sew each end up, but you also need a thicker thread or yarn, knitting wool will do, and that creates these sections by pulling it tight. I've also decorated mine with some felt leaves. This is just a bit of twig because it makes a nice stalk, and I've curled some wire to make these little um, tendrils. You don't have to have all that. You can just use pipe cleaner to make the stalk if you want. So it's easy to do. We're going to get started. I've got a ready threaded needle. If I can get it out of my pin cushion. Now it's got tangled with something off the off the pumpkin. When I sew like this, I double my thread. So that's doubled in my needle. Where are you? There. And then I tie a knot in the end so that um I've got that little loop at the end there to help anchor um my thread. So particularly when you're doing gathers, so you don't pull on it on just whizzes through. But you could just as easily tie a knot in it. I've turned the sock inside out because we want one bit of the gathers to be invisible. All you do is at one end of the sock is with your needle and thread, just go through with your thread. Um, I'm catching that loop and threading my needle through it, so it's forming like a little slip knot, but that'll hold the thread tight. And then you just run a gathering stitch all the way around your sock. Keep pulling it through. And when you get to the end, you just want to pull it as tight as you can. Just a few more stitches. So we're going to pull it really tight and we're going to hold it and then stitch through it just to hold it really tight. We don't want it unraveling and all the stuffing falling out. I'm stitching through as many of these gathers as I can. Oops, caught my glue gun. And then I'm going to wind that round and go through the middle again and then fasten it off. Sorry, I can't grab my needle. And then I just catch through that loop and pull it as tight as I can. So that should be nice and secure now. And then you can just nip off the end and retie it in a knot because we're going to be doing the same at the other end. Okay. Now, when we do the other end, I'm going to turn this is going to be the top of our pumpkin, so it's quite neat. The bottom, it doesn't matter as much because we're not going to see the bottom. So I've turned the sock the right way out again, and I'm going to do exactly the same around the top that I did at the bottom. I'm going to gather it up, but before I gather it, I need to stuff it. So I'm just going to run my running stitch round. See, it's very simple sewing. I don't know what the weather's like with you today. It's rather cold here. It's very bright, but it's rather cold. Now, before I pull that taut, I'm going to stuff this. So I have here some toy stuffing. You could also, if you have old pillows or old cushions that the pads have gone a bit lumpy, open them up and use them for stuffing things, because it's good safe stuffing. It's household safe, so it's fire safe and everything, so you can use it, and it's a good way of recycling the cushions and pillows, so they don't go into landfill. So I stuff it really taut. So I've got quite a bit of stuffing. I've put that first bundle in, and I've got quite a bit more, and I'm going to really stuff it, really, because I want a nice big fat pumpkin. I'll just spread it out. Don't worry about the shape too much, because once you pull it with the threads to create the sections, it will even out a lot of the shape. Now, it doesn't look like a pumpkin shape because it's tall, but it will when you, as I say, when you pull through with the other thread, the thicker thread. So then we're going to just again gather the top together tightly, stitch through our gathers to hold them, and as I said, this is the bottom, so you don't need to worry too much. And again, get through as many of the gathers as you can to hold it nice and tight. You don't want your stuffing leaking out, and just anchor it off. Cut it. Actually, before I cut it, what I'm going to do, this is what I do with my toys when I make toys. So I feed it through, and then if you just push down and cut, the thread disappears inside, so it's hidden by the stuffing. So that's really handy. So, as I say, it doesn't look much like a pumpkin. You can sort of like squish it a little bit and try and, but the stretchy sock will make a pumpkin shape once you start to do your gathers. Now, your sections, that's the top of our pumpkin, that's the bottom of our pumpkin, the messy bit. The sections are you thread it up and down through the middle. You need quite a long needle, and you need a sharp needle to get through it all the layers. And the first thing we do is tie it at the bottom, because we're going to be pulling the thread very tight. So it's gone right through there. So what I'm going to do is at the bottom, I'm just going to put my thread through a section and tie it so that it doesn't pull out when I start to pull it tight. So double knot. I'll leave that. I'm going to cut all the ends off later. So this is the bottom, and we take our thread all the way up to the top, push the needle through. This is why it needs to be sharp. I can get it through, and it needs to be long because it's got to go all the way out to the bottom again, and you don't want to lose it inside. So what I tend to do is push it really hard down like that and pull my thread, and that creates my first section. And then you go back up again, depending on how many sections you want to make. I usually make about 6 or 8 and go back down again. It's finding a place where the needle will actually go right through the layers. If you're struggling, turn it upside down and push. Now your other, the problem is that your other section starts to loosen if you aren't quick enough. Why does this not want to go through? I'm not sure what's going on there. Tell you what I'm going to do to save fighting with this. I'm just going to put a couple of stitches to hold it while I do the next section. That's holding that one. Got lots of thicknesses here. There we go, it's going through. It's just fine. Sometimes it's the stuffing that stops it going through the needle. And again, just a quick stitch to stop that springing back while we do the next section. There we go, and then I'm going to go up the other side. Mine's going to be, this is rather an ugly pumpkin. I think it's the way the stuffing went in. Just be careful when you're pushing the needle out the other side, you don't catch yourself. With the needle. And you keep doing that until you've got all your sections. So you're going to have to bear with me because I want to show you the finished product. Get that needle through again. It's not happy. There we go. Sometimes pliers help. I know it sounds silly, but sometimes I've really struggled with getting a needle through toy stuffing. Particularly when it gets compacted, as it has done in the middle of here now, because it's we've gone through it several times. Right, I'm going to change needles now because I know that the lengths of these threads, because these particular ones come pre-cut, are not enough to do all the sections. So I've got another one threaded. I'm just going to tie off that end. Right. And I'll do the last couple of sections for you. That's a bit boring watching me sew, but tie that in a double knot again. I don't want it coming loose. And then we'll do our last, I'll do 2 more. That needle's a bit sharper, it's going through a lot easier. Pull it tight and kind of stitch it off. So it is a little bit messy on the bottom, but you're not going to see the bottom. And then the last section. Those two have got a bit too close together. You can just sort of spread them out a little bit, move them along. I don't think it needs another one. I think that'll do. So I'm going to tie off this thread and cut all the ends, make it a little bit neater. So I think I've got a little tiny hole in my sock there. Get rid of those. So that's all the sewing done now. I will. So what we need now is our twig. That's cut off something in the garden this morning. Some felt in a sort of I've used this golden brown because it looks quite nice, and some green wire for our tendrils. So this is florist wire. It's quite thin and bendy, and we're just going to wind it around something. A pencil I usually use, and it's disappeared. Never mind, I've got felt tip pen here. So to make your tendrils, what we're going to do is cut this in half. I'm going to use these scissors. You should really use pliers. These aren't probably that good for cutting wire, and I'll probably ruin the scissors. So I've got cut my wire in half, and I'm going to wrap it around in a spiral around the pen. So it makes like a little spring. And there's the other one. That's probably a little bit big, so I'm going to snap it off. That's better. Right, so the leaf shape on a pumpkin, I couldn't figure out what they were, so in the end I cut like a vine-shaped leaf. I used my pinking shears. Pinking shears, if you're a dressmaker, have a zigzag edge. It just give it a little bit more interest. And I cut sort of a heart shape out of them, as you can see from there. So I'm just going to roughly sketch on here. So this is my disappearing gel pen. They're heat erasable. So it's got kind of a rounded top, and then it was kind of heart shaped like that. So what I'm going to do is fold my felt in half and cut round that shape, and then I've got two shapes. It doesn't have to be symmetrical because nothing is in nature. And then right, so that has given me two little kind of heart-shaped leaves. Don't worry about the pen because that'll disappear. So coming back to our pumpkin, our stick's going to go in the middle. So my glue's ready now, so I'm going to put a big squidge of glue that will hold that stick upright. And then with the leaves, to give them a bit of a definition, I'm just going to put a tiny bit of glue and the points of the heart there and just squidge it together till it sets. This is where I burn my fingers. And that should hold it. So it's just giving the leaf a little bit of shape, and then I'm going to, if that glue's still gluey, I'm going to stick them either side of my twig. Trying to flatten them out just a little bit. I'll put a bit more glue there. Hold my twig upright. Okay, and then the tendrils can just go, oops, I'm covered in glue now, look. Pull them out a little bit, and they can just go either side. Just again, a little bit of glue, holding them in. So once the glue sets, that will hold them. So there we go, there's our pumpkin. So I've now got two pumpkins, and these are both going to go outside of my porch. So my outside porch at the moment, in my porch I have a table with a twig tree on it, and the twig tree at the moment is covered in felt leaves like this in different autumn colours, and the pumpkin's going to go out there as well. So I'm just going to turn you up right again. Did you enjoy that? It's nice at this time of year, and they're not exclusively Halloween decorations, as I say. I've got this autumn display in my porch, so I'm going to put them with it. I just want to show you something else. So if you'll bear with me while I turn you around, this is what I've been working on for the past few weeks. Can you see my gnome array? I have been making gnomes. Now you might ask why. I've suddenly got an obsession with the Nordic style gnomes, so that's what I've been making. That's my main passion, is crochet. It's not easy to demonstrate on the WRVS, so I've never done it. But yes, that's what I've been up to. So thank you for coming along to my Halloween demonstration. As I say, I'm really sorry I couldn't see all your comments. I will look over them when I go and have my lunch now, and I'll try and reply to a lot of you. If you're watching on catch up, comment #replay, and I shall see you soon. I shall be back in the next month with some Christmas things. November's time enough for Christmas, isn't it? So I'll just say goodbye. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you again soon.